Oh my god, their hair looks hilarious. They have a little fro.
Lone Star Coops.
Howdy y'all, this is Tony with Lone Star Coops, and today we're going to be talking about raising baby chicks. On May 27th, which was about 6 weeks ago, we picked up 10 hatchlings from Ideal Poultry here in Texas. Today we're going to be talking about how to raise baby chicks and showing you a few pictures of their progress over the last 6 weeks. The breeds that we picked up are Australorps, Barred Rock, White Silkies, and some White Crested Black Polish. Whether your chicks are arriving in the mail or you are picking them up in person, make sure that on the day that they arrive you already have your basics ready. We like these feeders that don't allow them to get up and top and poop on it. You want to have a drown-proof waterer and a heat plate or a heat lamp, depending on your budget and preference. Just be aware that these heat lamps are very prone to causing fire, so you want to make sure that you install that in a place where it can't fall on top of combustible materials. Be sure that you pick up a chick food that has 20% protein specific for chicks, some large pine shavings and paper towels, and then some sort of bin or crate or homemade brooder, whatever you would like to put them in. Whether you buy it, make it, or use something that you have, doesn't really matter as long as they are protected from any sort of animal getting to them and they can't get out. This large dog kennel with hardware cloth wrapped around it is what we used for the first couple weeks because we had it handy and we didn't have to buy anything extra. But it is a little bit messy with the gaps. Since many people are keeping their chicks indoors for the first couple weeks and your house is air conditioned, it's good to know the temperature chart to keep your chicks healthy. Remember to have some airflow into your brooding box because I've seen just as many reports of chicks dying from being overheated as I have from them being too cold. It's best to have a thermometer in the area underneath the heat lamp so you can keep an eye on the temperature in the area where they're sleeping. In the first couple weeks, the baby chicks will peck and eat at pretty much anything on the ground in the brooder. So a lot of people recommend paper towels for the first week or two, and that's what we did with ours. It worked out really well. It's just not ideal for them when they're really tiny to be eating the pine shavings. After that first week or two, you're fine to go ahead and put the pine shavings in there. Make sure you get the large pine shavings, not the fine. And you can change those out once a day or every other day. And I also like to put a roost bar in our brooding box just to get them used to the idea of roosting up on a roosting bar. And they seem to really like it. When our chicks were 1 week old, it was already getting into the high 80s, low 90s here in Texas. So we would take them outside once a day for about 15 or 20 minutes just to let them scratch around in the grass and get a little bit of fresh air. That is perfectly fine if the weather is warm enough where you're at. Just make sure that you don't leave them unattended because it only takes a second for them to get in trouble with a predator. In fact, we ended up building this little PVC chick crib, I call it, with a removable lid, so we didn't have to worry about them being bothered by a cat or a dog that we have in the yard. I do have a video which I will link up above on how to make one of these. They are relatively inexpensive and easy to put together. And the nice thing is that you can use it as a brooder if your run is big enough and the weather's warm enough and you want to put them outside in your chicken run. So a scary thing happened on the third day after I built this. I had the chicks outside for about 15 or 20 minutes, I went inside to get my phone. I came back out and there was a hawk sitting right on top of the chick crib. So I don't see a lot of hawks flying around our neighborhood, but they sure did spot these chicks, and I was thankful to have them under a little bit of protection. At 1 or 2 weeks old, you can also start giving them any food scraps that you have, especially with hotter weather. Like all chickens, they will enjoy nice, cool pieces of fruit, and ours in particular love the honeydew, cantaloupe, and watermelon. Quick pictures of 3 weeks old. Got the barred rock. You can see the feathers and the weight that they're putting on. Silkies, not so much. The white crested black Polish, and one of the Australorps. Now at 3 to 4 weeks old, we started letting them stay outside during the day inside the locked up chicken run while the adult hens were in the yard free ranging. Just gives them a chance to get a little more exercise, and the weather during the day was still plenty warm here. We did have to still bring them inside at night. We have some pretty big temperature swings, so it was still getting down into the mid 60s at night, and they just weren't quite ready for that just yet. Somewhere towards the end of June, we moved them out full-time into the chicken run. They don't go up into the hen house for nesting. We have that chick crib set up in the run with the cover, so during the day they just hang out and are free to walk all around the chicken run. At night we pick them up and put them inside the chick crib and put the lid on it so that they are protected from the older hens. And it'll probably be like that for probably another good 4 to 5 weeks until they get closer to the size of the full-grown hens. The highlight to their day is when we let them out for a little bit of supervised free ranging around the yard. They really look forward to it. They're big enough now that the cats don't bother them. But just in case, we still only do this under supervision, and usually for only 30 to 45 minutes at a time. Main concern would be another hawk coming in and swooping down. At this smaller size, they could easily be snatched up and carried away by a hawk, or maybe even a neighbor cat that jumps the fence. Just don't want to take any chances, but it is fun to watch them while they're out free ranging, and it allows them to socialize with the older hens a little bit. That's going to wrap up this video on the chicks' progress. We'll post another one in a few weeks. Be sure to check out our blog post on LoneStarCoops.com. If you have any questions about raising chicks, please drop a comment below. Thank you for watching.